So you've seen Dune Part 1, and you know it's only half the story. Maybe you've read the Dune novel up until the point where the movie itself ends, or maybe you've read the entire series and know everything that's going to happen. But what we've learned about Dune Part 1 is that not everything that was in the book made it into the film. There were also additions to the Dune movie that are nowhere to be seen in the book, such as the human spider proxy. One advantage for the Dune Part 2 movie production is that a lot of the concepts and designs were already created, so it's definitely an echo or extension of Dune Part 1, which helps the two films blend seamlessly together. Of course, using the same director also helps with that. Speaking to Empire, Denis Villeneuve said, "We are supposed to shoot by the end of the summer. I will say it is mostly designed. The thing that helps us right now is that it's the first time I've revisited a universe. So I'm working with the same crew, everybody knows what to do, we know what it will look like. The movie will be more challenging, but we know where we are stepping, and the screenplay is written, so I feel confident." He also said, "When you adapt, you have to make bold choices in order for the things to come to life. And I think that was the best way to introduce this world to a wide audience. Now in the second one, I want to have more flexibility, and it will be possible to go a little bit deeper into some of these details. It's like a chess game. Some new characters will be introduced in the second part. And the decision I made very early on was that this first part would be more about Paul Atreides and the Bene Gesserit, and his experience of being in contact for the first time with a different culture. He also said that in the second part there will be much more Harkonnen stuff. But most of all, it seemed that Denis Villeneuve just wanted to go back to Arrakis, because he said, "I just want to experience it, be present with it, every single moment of it. When I shoot a film, I shoot it like all my movies, as if it's the last one, and it's no different for Dune Part 2. Speaking with Vulture, Dune production designer Patrice Vermette says that we were initially going to go further into the story. Throughout pre-production, the script moves. It finds its place. It's never definite until a certain time. So during the soft prep, there were areas of the screenplay that we did not end up covering when we locked the script and decided to shoot. There are elements already designed that will be in Part 2. Some of those elements that Patrice Vermette is talking about were probably seen at the Dune test screening. Scenes like Paul, Jessica and the Fremen going to Sietch Tabr or the Cave of Birds.
Do not brush against the bush lest you leave a thread to show the way. Where we go, no one must follow.
This is a scene that comes straight from the book. "Watch where you go," Chani hissed. "Do not brush against the bush lest you leave a thread to show our passage." This official art from the Dune movie production shows rays of light beaming down into a cavernous region. You get a sense of scale from the figure below, and the way they get into this cavernous region is via a rope. The interior of the cave has structures carved out of it, so this is a location that has been used for a long time. In this other official concept art, one of these chambers or rooms appears to be a war room or a place of congregation. Other examples of things that have been designed before are things like the maker hooks. We saw a brief glimpse of this in Paul's visions, where Jamis says, "The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience." We also get to see the maker hooks in official Dune games like Dune Arrakis, Dawn of the Fremen, where one of the Fremen holds the maker hooks in full view. In this game we get to see more of the architecture found on Arrakis, built into the rocks and the mountains. It's almost reminiscent of the home of Dr. Kynes, as seen in this official Dune art by Deke Ferrand. The same design was used in the Dune movie. Art from the game Arrakis Dawn of the Fremen also shows how a Fremen uses the maker hooks to ride a sandworm. And we also get to see the Water of Life, contained in a glass bottle. And the Water of Life is a significant part of the story, because in order for Jessica to rise up in rank among the Fremen and become a Reverend Mother, she has to change the Water of Life, which is poisonous. But this has significant effects on her body and biology, in particular, the baby she's carrying. We've seen the symbol of House Atreides in Dune Part 1, but there are other symbols too that have been designed for the Fremen, for the Harkonnen, and for House Carino that represents the Golden Lion throne. Concept art by Aaron Arick shows a literalist approach, where the symbol of the Golden Lion is actually built into the throne itself, surrounded by Islamic calligraphy. The last we see of the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen in Dune Part 1 is in a bath in the Arrakeen residency where he heals after surviving a poisonous gas attack. Activating the shield saves his life, but the attack takes its toll. It leaves his face scarred. We were actually supposed to see this in Dune Part 1 in the bath scene, because it's in the Dune shooting script. He's described as having one of his cheeks being spiderwebbed with white threads, like cracks in an old painting. Florence Pugh plays Princess Irulan, Austin Butler, who came fresh off of playing Elvis in Baz Luhrmann's movie, plays villain Feyd-Rautha, and Christopher Walken plays Emperor Shaddam IV, which is a crazy kind of fan service because for the longest time, Dune fans have dreamed of Walken in the Dune universe in various fan castings. This is in large part due to the Fatboy Slim song, Weapon of Choice, which was definitely inspired by Dune.
Walk without rhythm, it won't attract the worm.
Walk without rhythm, and it won't attract the worm.
Walk without rhythm, and it won't attract the worm. If you walk without rhythm, you never learn, yeah.
And Christopher Walken's commentary about the movie is even funnier. At the part where he walks without rhythm so he won't attract the worm, he says,
"That's a step I learned when I was 6 years old."
Sounds to me like Walken is definitely a Fremen who learned from a very early age how to avoid being eaten by a sandworm. Even the lyrics in the song,
"Don't be shocked by the tone of my voice,"
is warped similar to the use of the voice in Dune. The filming schedule was booked in for July 18 at Origo Studios, according to producer Mary Parent, with filming in Jordan in the fall. Casting announcements were a little vague and unconfirmed, which has been typical for the Dune production overall. Before actual confirmation, there was a schedule that was released in Production Weekly which states that Pugh and Butler were among the cast members, to be filming at Origo Studios in Budapest. In concept art for Dune Part 1 by Kamen and Ev of the Fremen warriors in Paul's Spice Vision, we can see in the distance some strange ships which weren't seen in the movie. Here is a better look at the ships in this secret hidden concept art, which was created as part of the Dune Adventures in the Imperium game. From the Dune Part 1 draft, the character Lanville, played by Roger Yuan, was supposed to reappear in Dune Part 2 as the Atreides slave who fights Feyd-Rautha in the Harkonnen arena. Again, this was to help with continuity between Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2. And they've actually partially built full-scale sandworms, which have been saved for Dune Part 2.
We built a piece of the worm, part of its scale and skin to develop texture and how it would move in the sand.
Josh Brolin commented on the script that he has read for Dune Part 2, saying it's amazing, phenomenal, it blew him away, and it's a really, really fun, more intimate ride. And this is what Javier Bardem had to say about the Dune Part 2 draft. I've read the new draft, and I think they've done an amazing job of putting together the pieces in a way that is going to surprise people. They won't be surprised by what happens, obviously, because they've read the book, but they'll be surprised by the way they put it together. I was very moved by it. It's a movie that is full, and you can feel the weight of it. And at the same time, you can enjoy the spectacularity of it. I can't wait to go back to the desert with those people, and I'm so happy to go back with Denis, who is one of the greatest directors ever. He's a lovely man. Did Dune Part 1 surprise you in terms of story? What's the biggest thing you hope to see in Dune Part 2? Let me know in the comment section below. Check out some of my other Dune videos or some of my other popular culture videos here.